AITA for not wanting to reconnect with my family who disowned me 22 years ago. Throw away as I just want some quick advices and don't think I'll be using this again. Super long story short of a story that happened 22 years ago. I'm now a 41. I'm one of 4 kids growing up in Adelaide, Australia. I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters. A couple of days after my 19th B-Day, the daughter who we considered like family of a close family friends of ours accused me of SARD during my B-Day party. My family took her side of the story and I was disowned and kicked out of the family house. I then had to move in with my aunt and her family who lives in another city, Melbourne, 8 hours away, and had to rebuild my life from the ground up again. Fast forward 22 years later, I went and finished university, met my now wife, and now I have a family of my own with 2 young kids, 10-year and 7-year. My aunt and her husband have been my rock throughout this whole time. They believed in me and even helped me in those early years to get back on my feet. Even today, my family would be going over to their house on a weekly basis for family meals with her family. Fast forward to about 3 weeks ago in late March. My auntie called to tell me to come over as my father and siblings were at their house and they wanted to speak to me. I was reluctant, but my auntie strongly advised I come as I want to hear what they now have to say. When I arrived at auntie's place, and sure enough, there were my old family, siblings and all. They were just so much older now, but it was definitely them. Cut the long story short and give you the gist of it. I asked them what they wanted. My father and siblings spent the next few minutes apologizing and explaining to me that they had just recently found out from the horse's mouth that the SAR accusation was all false. They started crying, begging me for my forgiveness and hoping we could reconnect. When they had their turn to speak, I just calmly told them no and got up to leave. My older brother begged me to stay and try to work this out. He said we were family. When I heard him say this, I just bluntly told them all, no, you're not. They're just strangers to me now. My real family were my aunt and her family. Her sons were my siblings. They were my best men groomsmen at my wedding. I'd even changed my surname to my aunt's husband's surname. When my father heard this, he completely broke down. I didn't care. I thought I would be angry or something along those lines, but I wasn't. I felt nothing for these people. They were just strangers to me now. I didn't even ask about how the truth came out. I didn't want it to know. I didn't care. I told them never to contact me again. They're dead to me as I was to them all those years ago. At this point, everyone from my old family just broke down and cried. I know their tears were genuine, but again, I felt nothing for them. After this, I just left. My aunt has been checking in on me over the next few days to encourage me to forgive and forget, but I said I had nothing to forgive as these people were strangers to me. She respected my decision. I know I left out a bunch of things in this story, but I tried to write this up a couple of times already, and it always turns out too many pages too long. So AITA for not wanting to reconnect with my family? Edit update. Hi all, thanks for all your replies. I read as many as I could. I want to take this opportunity to address some of the things I'd noticed in the comments. Some people think this is a fake account since it's new and the username is generic. As I'd mentioned in my post, this is a throwaway. I don't have an account and I don't see myself using this after this post. When I signed up, this was the auto-generated username, so I just went with it. Some people are throwing shades at my aunt about her desire for me to forgive and reconcile, and the relationship she has with her older brother, my father, and I should put boundaries. I want to say my aunt is an absolute gem and the most kind-hearted person I know. Hence, I know she's coming from a good place, but I had reinforced my view on my decision, and she respects my decision. I also want to say that over years, she and my father have always had a relationship. However, I made it clear to her very early on that I didn't want to reconnect or her to give updates about how I was doing or how my life was going, and she has always honored this request. Some of you question their motives about reconnecting. They needed an organ. I don't believe this is the case. My aunt assured me no one was ding sick or along those lines, and I take her word for it. Some of you wanted revenge by legal means towards my accuser. I had thought about this for so long in the initial years after it happened, but as time passes and the years rolls by, I'll be honest, I don't even think about it anymore. Hence, I didn't confront my family about it. I also have no idea why she'd confessed now. I didn't ask as I didn't care. Some of you suggested I block them all. Well, the good thing is that I don't need to. I don't really have social media apart for FB, but even then I'm not very active on there at all. I checked my timeline and the last time I'd posted anything on there was back in 2018. They don't have my phone number, so I haven't received any calls or MSG. Mind you, when I was 19, it was 2001, and I didn't have a mobile phone. Hardly anybody I knew had a mobile phone. On the day that I was kicked out, I had to walk to the nearest phone booth, put in some coins and call my aunt if I can come and stay with her. I remembered I had to take a taxi to the bus depot and took a long-distance shuttle bus to Melbourne on the same day.